Hey everyone, welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. I'm Kevin and this is where we talk everything Lego investing and reselling, and thanks a lot for the fun comments on my last video. Here's the proof that I really needed a haircut. In this video, I'm going to show you some sets that I've sold over the last few months and show you how I did on them. Definitely some winners, got a few losers in there, and also I'm going to show you some sets that I really want to sell, but they haven't gone up in value yet, so I'm still stuck holding them. All of these sets I sold on Facebook Marketplace. I've been really busy with work lately, and once I got gated on Amazon, I've had trouble finding too much time to be able to start listing things and get them sold. But I'll get back to selling in a big way soon, especially once we get closer to Q4 and the holidays. The first one that I sold is this Star II May the 4th GWP promo back in 2023. Brickset is showing a value of $48. eBay is showing about $50 to $60 after you include shipping. I sold the last one I had for $45. Obviously no shipping or fees on Facebook Marketplace. I think I had 4 of these total. And if you recall, it was a $150 threshold or 130 pounds or 150 euros. So selling it at $45 gave me a 30% savings against the threshold. And I'm pretty happy with that. My target on GWPs is 25%. That is the mark of a great GWP in my opinion. A lot of them drop down to 15 or 20%. That's still okay, but my target is 25%. The second set I sold is one of these Snowtrooper battle packs. Retailed for 20, Brickset is showing 20. My average buy-in price for these is $12, so that's an $8 profit and a 67% return on investment. I have 8 more of these to sell. They've been selling very slowly and not a great profit for how much work it is to sell each unit. On my full 2023 enthusiasm score and mentions table, it had 27 mentions with a kind of low 2.1 enthusiasm score. Those look like pretty decent numbers, but to give you context, the top of the table had 96 and 76 mentions and e-scores in the 2.6 to 2.8 range. Remember, the highest e-score a set can get is 3.0. On eBay, here's one for $25, including shipping, that sold. Another one about the same price, so somewhere in the $23 to $28 with shipping. For this set, I want to show you some Bucky data from the Ignite Discord. I'm going to show you how I use the data to help me decide the best time to sell these sets since I have 8 more to go. First, here's the price appreciation tool, and all you have to do is put in the set number and it pulls up and shows you all this data. Set name, of course, the theme, the ASIN, when the set retired, the retail price, the current price on Amazon, and then lifetime return on investment and annual return on investment. Obviously, both of those numbers look pretty awful against the retail price. This does not show against any discount prices that we all of course get. So I don't look at these as whole number indicators for how I'm going to do. I look at them as trends, and also note that it does show a calculated shipping cost of $4.15 and a platform fee of $3.45. Again, that's on Amazon, but seeing a negative number tells me that it hasn't grown much yet, even though I got it on sale. And now we're looking at the return on investment analysis tool. And for this one, you put in the set number. All of these are preceded with an exclamation point, and then the price that you bought it at and the price that you think you're going to sell it at. And it will come up with this table and tell you your target price that you entered, the shipping and handling and platform fees, and then your net sales, the profit, and then the return on investment. So for this set, even though I only sold it for $20 on Marketplace, I put in $25 because on eBay there would be some shipping and fees. So now it's showing me a 43% return on investment. In my case, I got the 67% return on investment. So that gives me some good information about how I want to handle the rest of these sets that I have, because remember, I've already held them for over 2 years, so I got to ditch them pretty soon. And then the last tool I want to use is the supply and demand tool that I've shown you before. Same thing, put in exclamation point and the set number, and then it gives me this great table on how it's doing currently on Amazon, and all of this green on the left side of the table tells me that there's still a fair amount of demand. The sales rank is pretty decent. The average daily drops, so units are moving. So this table tells me some good stuff, which is that the demand is still there, and I think I'm still going to hold for a little while. The boxes aren't that big, and I'm hoping that more of the supply on the secondary market sells off. That way there's more scarcity with the sets that I'm holding, and the price will start to go up even higher. Remember, there's a link for this Discord and Ignite program in the description of this video. This is Shane's program from BrickBucks. He also has a YouTube channel, so check him out. If you use my link, you'll get 1 month free in the Ignite program, which includes this great Discord. And then if you go beyond that, there is a cost, and DG Bricks and I do get get a cut, so full disclosure there. And as I've always told you guys before, I'm not pushing, I am not pressuring. I like to share all the resources and tools that I know of and that I use out there, including all the different websites and of course a great program like this. Next set I recently sold is this Notorious Republic fighter tank. It was a Target exclusive, retailed for $40, but Target put it 40% off on Black Friday 2023, so we all picked up a bunch for $23. Brick set is showing $42. The good news is I sold my one for $40, so that's a 60% return on investment with a $15 profit. The bad news is I only have 53 of these to go. I'm sure you all remember, but back in 23, it was our number one set on my table, 96 mentions, an E-score of 2.8. So obviously it's been a huge disappointment. It was the set I went most in on with 54 total. Unfortunately, I'm sure I'm still going to be holding those for at least another year here on eBay. $50 with shipping, $50 with shipping included. Not great prices. We were all really hoping that the minifigures were going to do well. You've got one Mace Windu, one Trooper Commander, and then one 187th Legion Clone Trooper. Obviously, we weren't thinking the battle droids were going to be of any value. But looking on Bricklink, not great so far. Mace Windu, about $5. The Clone Trooper Commander, about $10. And then two of the Clone Troopers, also about $10 each. So that's only $35 in minifigure value. Let's take a look at Bucky on this set too. I'm really curious. I actually didn't look this data up before I started this video. On the supply and demand tool, it's looking pretty similar to the last set. Good sales rank and good daily drops. So maybe there's a chance all this secondary market will sell out and ours will become a little more scarce. After buying them at $25, I was really hoping to be able to sell them for $75 using the ROI analysis tool. And after some shipping and fees, if that was on eBay, for example, I'd still be making a profit around $30 to $35 with over a 100% return on investment. Maybe we'll get there someday, maybe we won't. Otherwise, I'll be building my own huge Republic fighter tank army someday. Here's one I'm excited to show you about. Set 76389, Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets, retired at the end of last year. And right before it retired, I picked up a couple on great discount at Target. Retail is $150. Brick set is showing $108. On eBay with shipping, here's one for $150. Here's another one for close to $150, $160 with shipping. So it's definitely going up in value pretty quickly. For all of us that got it on really good discount, I picked up my two at $58. I recently sold one when somebody was wanting to buy an older Harry Potter set that I had. I hadn't even listed this one, but I mentioned to them I've got others and they snatched this one up. So that's a $53 profit with a 91% return on investment. Continuing with Harry Potter, I also sold this Hogwarts Hospital Wing. Retailed for $50. Brick set is showing $63. For minifigures, first time we've got Madam Poppy Pumphrey, who had to fix Ron's broken leg, and then a Ron Weasley with the leg cast, and then a Harry and Hermione. Neither of those are too special. Brick Economy is showing Harry at a couple of dollars. Same thing with Hermione, and then Ron also only at a couple of dollars. But Madam Pumphrey is at about $10. But still at $50, that's pretty low value percent-wise for the minifigure, so clearly it's the build that is selling on this one. On eBay, here's one for $100. Here's one for $110 with shipping included. I don't think I did this well. Here's one for about $100 again. Wow, this set continues to go up. I sold mine a couple of months ago at $75 on Marketplace, and I bought mine for $20. I cheated a little bit. That was after, I think, $20 of Kohl's cash, but I got it down to $20, so that's a $55 profit and a 275% ROI. Again, not really realistic for more than just one copy. And then one more Harry Potter set in this video, Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake. This one had tons of buzz around it until it was discounted forever on Amazon, and then I think there was tons of zombie stock. Retailed for $20, still showing $20. I bought three at $16. I sold one recently for $25. I've got two more to go, only a $9 profit, an okay 56% ROI. On my 2023 table, only 10 mentions and an E-score of 2. I think it had a lot more mentions in 2022 if I recall, and it might have even originally been scheduled to retire at the end of 2022. Maybe that's why the buzz died out and people started running away from this set. The price appreciation tool on Bucky is showing that on Amazon, if you bought it at retail, you are able to get a lifetime 2% return on investment. It really goes to show buy-in price and getting discounts is really important. Now, another gift with purchase, this time it is the Disney 100 Years Celebration. Brick set is showing $26. I sold my three recently at $25 each. It was only a $100 and €100 buy-in threshold, 95 British pounds. So $25 is pretty decent getting that 25% of the threshold. On eBay, here's one for $30 with shipping, and then another one that's close to $30 with shipping. So yeah, about $30 on eBay. And then let's look at camel.com, because if you guys remember, this set was released twice as a GWP, and the first time it was released, they were selling around $70 to $80. But once Lego did a second run, that's when I picked mine up, because if I recall, I just didn't like that many sets that were on sale from Lego.com at this time, so I missed out. But then when it released the second time, it did pretty well, and then it's kind of flattened out, and it's been okay. This is pretty typical for GWP. They don't rise in value that much. Typically, it's best to sell them pretty quickly when you get them. Now, I do want to mix in some sets that I own that I have not been able to sell any of yet, and honestly, I haven't even listed this set. For example, retailed for 40. Brick set is showing 25. This is the mini Disney, the Haunted Mansion, so sticking with the Disney theme. Based on what I've seen on eBay, I think I could sell locally for $25. Against my $28 buy-in price, that would be a minus $3 profit and a minus 11% return on investment, which is too bad because on my table it had 18 mentions and a 2.4 enthusiasm score. I was thinking this would be in the sweet spot, you know, not so high that everybody would be buying it, but middle high enough that there would be demand on the secondary market. So I just got to keep holding for now. And another set that I have 9 of and that I have not listed any of yet is this Disney 100 Celebration BrickHeadz. $40 retail. I got my 9 at an average $27. The best price that I think I could sell it at would be $20. That's a minus 26% return on investment. Here it is on Brickset. It had less than a year's shelf life and it is doing horribly. And if you remember, on our table, it was pretty popular. 47 mentions, a 2.5 enthusiasm score. On eBay, $27 with free shipping, $23 with free shipping. Not good. But one thing I want to show you is that it looks like there's some potential to do better when you open the box and break these out and sell them as individual figures. Here's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. I love that one. $14. And then here is Tinkerbell, $15. And I think there's a couple more down here. Tinkerbell at $25. Don't know what happened there. Snow White at $10. So yeah, at some point I might need to break these open and break them up. But odds are I'll still be holding them for a fair amount of time because here on Camel 3X, this chart is just going down since it retired. And then last one to show you that I've not sold yet. It's been disappointing, but I'm not as worried about this one. This Daisy Duck brickhead. It's adorable. It's Disney. A lot of the Disney brickheads eventually do pretty decent. It pairs well with the Donald Duck. I picked up 12 of them at $8, and today I could sell them for $8 with a 0% profit and ROI. All right, now back to some big winners. This Speed Champions Fast and Furious Dodge Charger. Awesome set. My kids and I today actually stopped by a car show that was on the way home from a Boy Scout activity that we were doing, and we took a lap and looked at it, and oh, I loved it. And the thing that I really loved about it is that they had a lot of Dodges and not so many Corvettes, because every time you go to car shows, there are so many Corvettes. I'm not a big Corvette fan. My favorite car is the Dodge Viper, but I love the Charger. I love the Challenger. They even had a Dodge Dart there. Some cool Plymouth muscles from back in the day. It was awesome. But yeah, I love this set. I've sold 6 of them already. My buy-in price was $15, so I have 6 more to go. On eBay, it's showing 33 plus another $13 of shipping. Here's one that's about 45 with shipping. Yeah, so 45 or so when you add shipping on top. On Marketplace, I've got these listed, I think at 35, and every now and then I get somebody saying, hey, will you do 25? I'm not negotiating on these. They're selling fine without me dropping my price. So let's get to my summary table here. 31 is my average sale price, and my profit is $16, 107% ROI. So actually, I guess when I list them at 35, if people are offering me 30, then I'll accept that. I try to give a little bit of wiggle room. That way it's easier to negotiate. But I feel good at buying them at 15 and selling them off for 30 to 35. On my e-score table, it's below the Disney 100 Celebration with only 37 mentions, but a higher 2.7 enthusiasm score. And I got to show you Camel 3X and Bucky on this one because the data looks good. Here's a camel chart. Look at it jump in value. I mean, looking at this, if I held, I might be able to get $50 on Marketplace in another 6 months or so. The supply and demand tool is all green. That's what we want to see. And the price appreciation tool is showing 107% ROI against retail price on Amazon. And remember, that's after shipping and platform fees. Oh, maybe someday I'll get ungated on Amazon again. Oh, well, part of the fun, part of the game. Now on to the Fast and Furiouses, Speed Champions, the partner in crime, the Aston Martin DB5. We were all just as excited about this set as the other one because they're both from movies, and that certainly helps them be very, very popular, but this one is not doing as well. There's a good reason for it. $20 retail is showing 24 on Brickset. On my table, it has 10 more mentions than the Dodge Charger at 47 and the same 2.7 enthusiasm score. I went in on 8 total at an average price of $12. I've sold 2 of them so far at $22, $10 profit, 83% return on investment. So I've got 6 to go. But the issue with this set is shown right here on Camel 3X. These are Amazon primary seller prices here. And remember, this set retired in 2023. And then by May of 24, all of a sudden it came back in stock on Amazon, and only recently has it gone out of stock. Well, I guess almost a year ago, but still, this zombie stock was killer for the set. Basically, is going to delay its growth at least a year, if not a year and a half. But when we add on third-party sellers, we can see that once it finally went out of stock completely, it is starting to grow. So I don't mind that mine are selling a little slower. I'm obviously happy with the 83% ROI, but I bet in time it'll get to 110 to 130% ROI. And then another Speed Champions 76900, the Koenigsegg Jesko, longer shelf life than usual. I bought 32 of these Walmart clearance for $10 on Camel 3X. This one also had almost an extra year of zombie stock. But again, once it officially sold out, the price has gone up. It's just been slow to grow that much. But at the $10 buy-in price, I'm feeling good. I've sold 2 so far, not 1, but 2 at $20. So that is a 100% ROI. And then one more Speed Champions I sold. I didn't do well on it. I actually had an extra one. I don't even know how I got it. I forget. My kids and I have built at least 2 or 3 of these. I think there were a couple mixed in with some bulk used Facebook Marketplace, mixed pieces and mixed set purchases. So I decided to sell off the one I had new in box. And I'm assuming I paid retail price for it back in 23, but again, I don't remember. Sold it for $15, $5 profit, 50% ROI. No big deal there. And then one more older set that I had laying around that I decided to sell. I bought it for 50% off, almost $30 on Brickset. On eBay, $44 with shipping, $38 with shipping. So it's not like it's a banger or anything, but buying it at $10, selling it for $30, that's a 200% ROI. But that's after a pretty long hold time since it was out in 2019. And in fact, I kind of regret selling it. I like building Technic sets, a lot of fun. All right, now I'm going to finish up with a few more GWPs and then one final dud of a set that I am not even close to being able to sell. But first, let's talk about this great flower pot GWP. Brick set is showing a value of $30. I sold my 3 for $37. The buy-in threshold was 130 pounds and $150 and euros in 2024. And this one also hits the 25% threshold value. So pretty good. And we all know how popular flowers and botanicals are. I do expect this one to keep going up in value. Next up is the bakery. Not very good, showing $22 on brick set. I think this is one of 4 that's like Shops of the World or something like that. The threshold was $200 in euros and 180 pounds. I only got one, sold it for 30, only 15% of the threshold. So that's not too good. But these next 2 are pretty good because they go together. So first is the Winter Holiday Train. And then the second one is this awesome retro record player that did a lot better than people were thinking. The train threshold was 155 pounds, $170, 170 euros in 2024. I sold my 4 at an average $28. So that's a 16% of the threshold. Not so good if that was the only GWP you could get when making these purchases. But if you went up to $250, then you got the train and this retro record player on top. So I sold my 3 at $48, 19% of the threshold. Selling these 2 against the full $250 threshold, it works out to about 30%. So that's really good. And again, it's because this record player did quite well. All right, now I'll wrap up with one more dud that I'm sure I won't be able to sell for years from now. And that's this Minecraft The Training Grounds, retailed for $80. It's showing 43 on Brickset. I do want to show you Google Trends. Blue is Minecraft. Obviously the movie just came out, so it did pop up. Maybe that'll help out a little bit, but I don't think for this set. And for comparison, this orange red color is Star Wars. I know I've showed this before, but that's pretty wild that Minecraft is getting more Google searches than Star Wars. Luckily, I only have 2 of this set. My purchase price was $54. From looking on eBay, I think the best I could do is $34. That'd be a minus $20 profit and a minus 37% ROI. My story with this set, and it was a good lesson learned for me, was that my wife was out at Walmart and she shot me a text and a picture of it showing, I think, 40% off. And I was at work and I didn't have time to do research or anything. And I thought to myself, it's a 40% off set. My kids like Minecraft. And so go ahead and grab a couple. And of course, I do appreciate Mrs. KDX sending me those texts. She does that every now and then, but I'm getting more savvy about doing quick research and telling her yay or nay. But yeah, definitely a mistake for investing. But my kids love Minecraft. So, look, they'll probably build one, if not both of them. And the pieces are pretty good. And my son's favorite color is purple, and that purple minifigure, no idea who that character is, but I think it looks cool. Of course, my boys would be able to tell me who all these guys are, but that's my lesson learned. All right, well, that's everything that I wanted to show you in this video. Of course, some winners, some losers, some what was I thinking, so we can have some laughs at that. Thanks a lot for watching. That's a wrap, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else.